Hey folks, Real Honesty with Jarmithlan. I'm Jarmithlan. This is my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling's New Beginning Day 1 in Sapporo, and I want to take just a moment to thank every single New Japan Wrestling fan that tweeted with me, that talked to me, and has commented on even my Wrestle Kingdom 12 review. And if you haven't checked that out, feel free to check that out. I really enjoy doing that. I'm going to do as much live tweeting and reviewing of New Japan shows as I can, in addition to the reviews I already do, but I may not be able to review them all. So thanks to everybody who has been able to keep me up on this stuff, and I'm doing my best, so thank you guys, and let's get on with the show. Of course, you had Don Callis and Kevin Kelly on the call for the English commentary. I had to listen to the English commentary because, much as I love the energy of the Japanese commentary team, I don't have a clue what the hell they're saying, and I kind of need to have a little bit of an idea. So, in what I guess is called a trial series best of 7, you have Kitamura, who could clearly pass a wellness test. Look, the guy's in great shape. I'm just saying, that's not all natural. Versus Michael, the creep, Elgin. That guy is a creep, seriously. I mean, if any of the stories are true about that guy, oh my god, why has he not been taken out of Japan? I mean, god, that's just ridiculous. Enough of that, though. This was a power versus power match. Apollo was a power, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. Pace was fine. Elgin won. Okay, cool. Let's move on. The crowd did love Kitamura, so that's fine. And then you had a big 10-man tag match, including, and first you had a woman named, and forgive me, I wrote down the name, so I hope I pronounce it the way it sounds, but Miho, I believe is her name, and she's cute, and check out her Twitter. Yeah, she's really cool. Love to know more about her, so hopefully, maybe, she's on more of the shows I review, and that'll be cool. But yeah, Taka Michinoku, great talent, really should have gone a lot further in WWE when he did. I know he's been in Japan for a number of years. I'm just saying, one of the sticking points as far as being a longtime wrestling fan, I always wish Taka Michinoku had been used a little better. The guy, at very least, could have been an IC champion. He should have been used a whole lot better than he was. But anyway, Taka Michinoku, El Desperado, Taichi, Kanemura, and Izuka. I mean, it was like 2 I's. There's a lot of names I'll probably screw up. And they face off against Jushin Thunder Liger, one of my top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time. Tiger Mask, one of the many incarnations of Tiger Mask. Ishii would not want to mess with that guy. Kushida and Tenzan, 10-man tag war, Anarchy. Throw the rulebook out the window. Everybody was just like, let's just go everywhere. Taka tapped to Kushida. It was fine. It was good stuff. And it was nice to see Jushin Thunder Liger on the winning side of a team. I know that he's near the end of his career. I think he's either going to retire sometime next year, maybe even in 2020. I know he said it was either 2016 or 2017 that he was going to retire within the next 5 years. And I think it was actually 2016 they said that. So I wouldn't be too surprised if by 2020 Liger wants to hang it up. But the man's been wrestling since 1984, so who could really blame him? Honestly, all the best to the guy. All the best to the talents involved here, especially Taka. I believe he's in his early 40s, still wrestling great, has really adapted to cool heel style. I really appreciate the great amount of talent in here, especially Ishii. That guy's a fucking tank. The guy's just an incredible athlete. Great efforts by everybody. It was a bit of a war. It wasn't necessarily goofy, but it was just like a 10-man war. So hey, it was cool. And like I said, Liger's team got the win. Kushida got the tap out. Cool. And then we go to match number 3, Takahashi and Chase Owens. Kayla, you really seem to enjoy, and I mean, it's a friend of mine on Twitter. She'll know if she happens to watch this, but it's like, Haley, you really seem to enjoy Chase Owens. That's really cool and everything, and thank you for helping keep me up to date on some New Japan stuff whenever shows are on and tweeting with me. Takahashi and Chase Owens versus Yano and Tomohiro Ishii. There's a lot of Ishiis here. I hope that wasn't the same guy. He didn't exactly look the same. He looked a little smaller. Good enough match for what it was. Yano's pants were weird, extremely colorful. Chase Owens has certainly got some, good moves and everything, good skills, and I can't wait to see what else he does in New Japan. There were some really hard shots and some decent tag exchanges and everything. And the one thing about this And you'll forgive me here, by the way, my alarm notification just came up on my phone, so I had to shut that off really quick. But anyway, really good tag exchanges here. Yano and Ishii got the win, and that was fine. That was good stuff. You had a lot of tag matches on this show as a way to fit people on the card and everything, because they do have a pretty deep talent roster, and they also want to give the fans the best bang for their buck, and I'll give them credit for that. I mean, for the people watching on the New Japan, on the New Japan World app, or on the website and everything, or if you're able to watch, however you're able to watch it legally, of course. Let's give them the money, so they can provide the best content that they can for us. I've never cared necessarily for illegally streaming stuff. I've never cared for it. Not gonna knock you guys if you do. But enough of that rant. Good enough tag match. And then we go to yet another tag team match. And I'm gonna screw some of these names up, I'm just sure. Hanare, Makabe, and Taguchi. Okay, let me try that again. Hanare, Makabe, and Taguchi versus Tama Tonga, Bad Luck Fale, and Tongaloa. I would not mess with the Tongas at all, because besides the fact I'm sure they're legit tough athletes, I don't want Haku to murder me, and he could. I'm not saying that Haku's necessarily somebody that's just going to go flat out and do that, but the guy is that damn capable, even in his 50s. Please, for the love of God, don't have Haku Ming hurt me, for the love of God. It was a never open weight 6-man tag titles. Tonga and his brethren, that's just what I'm going to call them, beat Chaos the next night at New Japan Dash, right after Wrestle Kingdom 12. After losing their tag titles, they managed to win this here. Okay, cool. All right, we got that. No doubt that Tonga and his brethren were going to win here. That's what happened. It was decent enough. Certainly not that bad. Tama Tonga is certainly the star of this group, and that's not knocking anybody else, but I can definitely see why people, and I saw for a number of years, but really, especially with the live tweet, I'm especially able to see why people praise Tama Tonga like they do. The guy is supremely talented. And now we go to another 6-man tag. Marty Scurll, Cody, and Hangman Page versus Juice Robinson, Kota Ibushi, and David Finlay. And I want to take a moment to just say a few of these guys here that obviously could have been were in WWE, and one guy that was in WWE for a little bit. It's a good thing Kota Ibushi did not sign with them after the Cruiserweight Classic. Guy's been tearing, whether I agree with the blow-up doll stuff that he does and the goofy stuff, hey, he's enjoying himself, he's having fun, and he's putting up some incredible matches. So good for him. Same with Cody. Cody's star is shining super bright, and he is doing so well since leaving WWE. And same with Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson, that guy was, given a dead-end gimmick that he wasn't going to be able to get, going anywhere. I mean, it wasn't, again, not against his talent, but there was no way he was going to be able to go anywhere with it. Now he's tearing it up, and everybody else did just fine. Really good talent here. Good pace, a lot of miscues. Everybody kept hitting their tag partner on accident as a way to, oh my God, wait, let me try. Oh, I hit my tag partner now. What am I thinking? Good stuff. Enjoyable. And of course, Cody's team manages to get the win, and Cody's like yelling at, Kevin Kelly, there's no dissension. Omega is the Bullet Club leader. I think Scurll at one point said, he's British, I'm Canadian, or something, or no, he's Canadian, I'm British, or something like that, because Scurll's obviously British. It was just a fun little exchange, and Cody being a great old heel here. Good stuff. Certainly good stuff, and good storytelling. And then you had Himuru without Daryl, and that was very disappointing, and Naito versus Ospreay and Yoshihashi. And boy, what a pace they cut. Great stuff. Ospreay, certainly a great talent. Maybe he could stop tweeting stupid shit. I mean, I'm one to talk, but given the platform he has, I might want to stop tweeting stupid shit. But Himuru and Naito obviously got the win. I mean, there was no doubt that was going to happen, and it's not that Ospreay taking a loss or Yoshi taking a loss was necessarily going to hurt either of them. Naito especially needed this. He especially needed this after coming up short against Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 12. And of course, Naito and Jericho is obviously going to happen at some point after, with what happened in New Japan Dash. So, good stuff. Naito versus Ospreay is something that needs to happen at some point. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll take it's like Himuru versus Ospreay or Naito versus Ospreay. I will not take Daryl versus Ospreay because let's be serious here. I'm kidding. Daryl is a better worker than El Patron, though. Let's be honest about that. Well, he's worth more money than El Patron is. And yeah, I'm going to take a shot at El Patron. But good enough tag match for what it is. Naito beat up. It's like Naito and Yoshi started attacking each other. Well, Naito didn't want to necessarily didn't want to even like acknowledge him or whatever, and then finally just got pissed. There was good stuff there, but still it was a nice fun little thing at the end where Naito being Tranquilo and of course, Himuru just having fun. It was good stuff, and it was nice to see them get a win here. And then another tag match. I mean, this was a very tag match heavy show. Main event was great though. Evil, Sonata, and Bushi versus Goto, Okada, and Gato. And the hype is real. This was mainly this was put together as a way to kind of extend the whole thing for Sonata and Okada that was eventually going to happen. If I'm right, I think that's happening at one of the shows in February. It's happening either the 6th of February or it's happening the 10th of February. I'll try to watch that. Forgive me if I miss that. But good stuff. It was more of a showcase for every one of the guys. I mean, the Bushi took the fall, as I think it was pretty obvious he was going to take the fall there. And then Okada's talking to Sonata, and of course I don't speak Japanese, so I have really no clue what he said, but probably something like, well, what makes you think you deserve a shot, something like that. And Sonata picks up the mic and doesn't say anything, leaves. Okada goes and attacks him, brings him back, gets a trash bag full of the Okada money, make it rain, and stuffs some in his mouth and puts the Cobra Clutch on him. So he made Bushi tap out with that. Sorry, not Ibushi. So Ibushi versus Okada would be certainly a match I would like to see. Again, I'm sure it probably has happened at some point, but Bushi tapped out, and then, of course, they just built up more with Sonata and Okada. I don't think Sonata's going to win. I wouldn't be opposed to it, because Okada has held the title for a very long time, especially in this day and age and everything, even though I know Japan does title reigns a little differently. But I don't think Sonata's going to win. I think somehow Naito's going to beat him, and I'd be all for that. So then we have the match, which if it hadn't been for Kitamura versus Elgin, would probably be my least favorite match of the night, and that's because of who's involved, and I apologize, by the way, if I'm doing this. I have bad allergies, so that's what I'm doing is my nose. But Roppongi 3K and Jay White versus the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. It's just a way to hide both title matches are going to take place on day 2. I'm just not a fan of the Young Bucks. I just don't care for the Young Bucks. I just don't. I just don't care for them. It's not that they're bad athletes. I just don't like the spot monkey stuff. But it was mostly a spot fest, and it wasn't bad. It was a way to hype both feuds and sort of protect both guys. And it was good enough for what it was. You had, of course, Omega and Jay White having their, confrontations, Roppongi 3K and Young Bucks having their confrontation and everything, and certainly it wasn't bad. Of course, Young Bucks hit the Meltzer driver. Dave's got to be happy about that. And look, I got my own opinions about Dave Meltzer, and I'll leave that for another day. But then Jay White attacks Omega afterwards, and got a little bit of attention there. A little bit of tension at the end. Because the Young Bucks are doing their, their stupid thing, pose for the hard cam, as they called it. And Jay White attacks Omega. And the Young Bucks are like, oh, sorry, we were, Omega was asking, where were you? And Young Bucks are like, oh, sorry, we were doing our pose for the hard cam, as we like to do. Omega probably thinking, yeah, thanks, dicks, thanks, I just got laid out again. But, I mean, I think it's just a little bit of tension. I don't think it's really going to go anywhere. I think this is possible, and I'm just going to say this, and obviously a lot of people are probably going to watch this after day 2 happens, so then I don't know how many people are going to watch this review. I think I think one of those two titles will change hands. Either the the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Titles, or the U.S. title. I mean, I don't know if Jay White's suddenly going to win. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily the best idea, but it'd be a way to certainly make the press and make a new star. Who knows? I think one of those two titles at least going to change. And then we go to Tanahashi versus Suzuki, and oh, sweet Jesus, was this a great match for the IWGP IC Championship, Intercontinental Championship. Great psychology that they told, with every move meaning something. Tanahashi not wanting to quit, Suzuki focusing on the knee, Tanahashi focusing on Suzuki's knee to try and break him down. And the fact that Suzuki, who has been named by some of my Twitter followers as Murder Grandpa Suzuki, and that's pretty accurate. I would not want to mess with the guy. The guy's freaking insane. The guy's a great athlete, obviously, but it had a huge fight feel to it. The commentators did push the fact that Tanahashi's had a lot of injuries, and I didn't believe that Tanahashi would lose to Jay White at Wrestle Kingdom 12, and obviously he didn't. But I felt there was a chance, but I don't know. I mean, I especially felt that after, Suzuki has sent the rest of Suzuki Gun back to the backstage area, or, just, away from ringside and everything, that's like, okay, it's going to be one-on-one, maybe there's a chance. That's what I get for doubting the Murder Grandpa. Suzuki focused on Tanahashi's knee. There was great selling, great psychology. It was a bunch of leg locks and ankle twists and stuff like that, and just focusing on making everything matter. And the fans didn't want to see Tanahashi. They didn't want to see the ace lose. And Tanahashi's been the ace in New Japan for a long, long time. He's IWGP champion for a while. He's a great Intercontinental champion. The thing is, and I mean, I love Tanahashi. He's been one of my favorites since like 2005, 2006. The thing is you have to wonder if all these injuries are finally catching up. I mean, the man's 41, gonna be 42 this year. He's had his bicep injuries, knee injury. I'm sure he's had other injuries. Those are the two I can really think of. What ended up happening, obviously, is they played that up and everything. Unless Tanahashi's legit hurt, and as of recording this video, and I'm recording this about 4:35 a.m., it does not appear that he's severely injured. And maybe he was just selling it, and I hope that's the case. I certainly hope that he's not injured, and, beyond bumps and bruises that anybody's going to get in the ring. But when Suzuki won, when, Red Shoes, the referee, those New Japan fans will know, he stopped it because Tanahashi simply couldn't answer. Like, he just knew that Tanahashi would not give up, and that Tanahashi would still fight if, Suzuki ripped his leg off, which he would have likely done, and beaten him with it and everything, probably beaten the fans in the front row with it, because Suzuki's just that insane. But referee stoppage, Suzuki's new IC champion, and certainly wouldn't have it any other way. As much as I want to see Tanahashi win, because I'm a fan of Tanahashi, and I'm not knocking Suzuki, but this was really good expert storytelling, and it was a way to, I don't want to say it was a way to necessarily protect Tanahashi in a bad way, but Suzuki that way got the win. It worked. He did well. Everybody did well. Perfect psychology. One of the matches of the year, if I would say, honest to God, and I'm going to have to probably keep a list of these things, like, for the Wrestle Kingdom, or not for the Wrestle Kingdom, I mean, even though a couple from Wrestle Kingdom will go on there, I may have to do a, top 10, 15 New Japan matches of the year at the end of the year. Obviously, we're, we're just barely at the end of January. We got a long way to go. This could be up there because it was expert storytelling and great submission wrestling, and the fact that Tanahashi wouldn't give up and that the referee had to stop it. Maybe it's a way to build for a number of months later, or, maybe they do for the G1 climax, as some people were saying, which I'm all for. That'd be a great, return bout for Tanahashi. Suzuki could defend it against a couple other people and build some good feuds for that until that point. Or if Tanahashi's hurt, hopefully he recovers soon. He's been the ace for a reason. He has beaten up his body for the love of wrestling and for the fans. But if Tanahashi is injured, even if he's not, he deserves a bit of a rest. I know that New Japan doesn't have as much of a grueling schedule as WWE, thank God, with how hard they wrestle. But Tanahashi certainly deserves a rest. Neither guy really should hold their head in shame. I mean, well, obviously not Suzuki since he won the championship, but Tanahashi shouldn't hold his head in shame. You wouldn't want to mess up the hair. I mean, I know that some of the ladies I was talking to certainly love his hair. Tanahashi's great though. Great way to end the show. Great way to end the show with Suzuki being the new IWGP Intercontinental Champion. It is obviously the best show that I've ever seen. No, there were a few too many tag matches, but there were some good ones. So I will say a B plus. I'll say a B plus. Because of how that main event ended. Because I think the way they told the story and everything actually bumped it from about a B minus up to a B plus. Because there were a few too many tag matches, and there were a couple matches where I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? I honestly didn't care too much about the Roppongi 3K, and Jay White versus Young Bucks and Omega match, though I admire the talent that all the men have. But that main event with Suzuki and Tanahashi was certainly great. So anyway, that's what I gotta say. Have you guys seen the show? Did you watch it live? What'd you think? Leave in the comments, and like, share, comment, subscribe. And also, I will be doing a review of day 2. I will be very, very tired since I'm actually going to be going to work right now. So I probably won't get to sleep until sometime around 1 a.m. Sunday morning. But anyway, this has been Real Honesty with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin, and I will see you soon.